Hello friends, welcome to this YouTube video program. We are discussing about the use of various sampling techniques under probability sampling method for selecting a sample to conduct educational research. Friends, we have already discussed some of the probability sampling techniques that are used under probability sampling method. Specifically, we have discussed the simple random sampling technique, then stratified random sampling technique, then multi-stage random sampling technique, and we have also discussed the systematic sampling technique. In this program, we will discuss the last sampling technique that come under the probability sampling method, that is the cluster sampling technique. So friends, let us try to understand the concept of a cluster sampling technique and the process that we adopt for selecting a sample by using the cluster sampling technique. So friends, you see the terms that has been used in this sampling technique is a cluster sampling technique, means the term, the word that has been used, that is the cluster. So the very meaning of cluster means you can say a group, okay, a group of population, a group of units, maybe student, when we talk about in the context of education, it may be group of students, group of teachers, group of parents, group of community members, okay, group of schools, group of educational institutions, okay. So cluster means here a group, okay. So here in cluster sampling, you see we use this technique when the population is too large and geographically scattered. Many a time you will find that the population is too large and geographically scattered, just like we have already discussed in a multi-stage sampling. Okay, in multi-stage sampling, we have discussed that the sample is scattered, the sample is distributed, across the state or across the country. The same way, when the population is scattered, is distributed in a wide geographical area, but you see mostly the characteristics of the populations are similar in nature, okay, similar in nature. If you are taking the students, let it is based upon the students only. If you are taking the teacher, it is based upon the teachers only. So here we follow a cluster sampling technique. You see, when the population size is large, at the same time when the population is scattered in a very wide geographical region, wide geographical area. And again, the second thing that we can say that we use this technique when it is difficult to prepare the list of population units. Many a time, because of many difficulties, many problems, you see, it is not possible to list out the population. Okay, though there is the existence of the population, but because of certain issue, because of certain problem, as a researcher, you are unable to reach at them. Okay, maybe for any administrative problem, maybe for any physical problem, okay, maybe for any geographical area or demography related problem, you are unable to reach at them. So that's why you are not able to list the size of the population and where they exist. Okay, so if such peculiar cases are there, then you can better use this cluster sampling technique. And you see, the most important aspect when you are adopting the cluster sampling is, when the characteristics of each clusters are similar. Okay, so then after you can consider to use a cluster sampling method. So now you see, when we discussed about the cluster sampling, we should compare it with a simple random sampling. Okay, in a simple random sampling technique, it says that when you are able to list out all the unit of the population, their existence, their address, okay, their establishment, where they live, okay, what they do, means everything, the data, the up to date data is with you. Okay, so you have to list the population. Let 1000 population is there, and among the 1000 population, let you want to take 20% population as size of your sample, that is 200. So what you will do, already you have listed 1000 population, then you have by lottery method or by using the random table method, you have draw 20%, that is 200 sample. So here also in simple random sampling, you see the units of the populations are arranged or distributed, you can say horizontally. Okay. So the characteristics of each and every unit of the population were same. Here also, as we are saying, this is a cluster sampling, means we will select our sample from a cluster, from a group, from a group of population. Okay. So each and every clusters which is exist within a geographical area or within the population area, we can say that the characteristics of each cluster is same. As example, let when we talk about the school system, okay, the school system, you see we have different types of boards. We implement in our country, in India, we use different types of boards. So first is a state board. Every state is having their own board. For 10th board, for 12th board, for school examination, for school education, they have two boards, secondary board and senior secondary board, every state. If you take the example of Punjab, they have their 10th and 12th board. If you take the example of West Bengal, they have their 10th and 12th board. If you take the example of Maharashtra, you will get their 10th and 12th board. Okay. And if you take the example of other state also, UP, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, they have their own 10th and 12th board. At the same time, you will also find that the CBSE board is there. Okay, Central Board of Secondary Education. They also run school across India. CBSE schools are there. So mostly the students who take admission in the CBSE board, they follow the CBSE curriculum, and the students who admit in take admission in the state board school, they're supposed to follow the state board curriculum. Okay. At the same time, we have also ICSE curriculum, ICSE board. Okay. So three types of board functioning across the country, across India. But here we are talking about the characteristics, a type of similar characteristics of every cluster. Let we are conducting study on schools in a particular district. So what you will do, you have to take one type of school. Let we are taking the in a state, we are taking the government schools. Okay, so where treatment is given by the state board. So here you see all the schools are following the state board curriculum. Okay, teaching learning process, the textbook, everything is same for all the students, for all the clusters. Okay, as well as the appointment, the norm of appointment of the teachers qualification, who is teaching the students, what is their qualification, what is their experiences. Okay, and what is the pedagogic process, how the teachers are teaching, and what are the activities they are doing. Okay, practicing in the school, activities in mathematics, activities in science, activities in social science, means subject wise, subject specific pedagogic practice that they are doing in their school, that is also a similar type. So here means the practices are a similar type, you can say. At the same time, you see the assessment practice. Okay, so how the school is adopting the assessment practice, whether they are doing the continuous comprehensive assessment, formative assessment, summative assessment, what type of exam they are doing, and what is the contribution of annual marks and the you can say semester and score, or the half yearly exam score, and whether there are any contribution of the formative assessment score for the you can say for the annual result of the students. So here when we talk about a particular board of a particular district, and when you are taking data from a similar types of school from a district, then you can say that the students, those are in the district in different clusters, they are getting a similar type of treatment. Curriculum is same. Okay, teachers, those are teaching, they are having similar types of qualifications also. Time schedule is also same, that how many working days are there in a year. Okay, and you can say the course completion, you see in every quarter what is the planning of course completion. So everything will be same, assessment will be same, pedagogy will be same. So here determining the cluster, selection of the cluster should be similar in type. Then after you can adopt a cluster sampling technique. Here you see in a simple random sampling, what you will do, let you have to collect data from a district. So from all the students, so you have to list out all the students. So many a time, because of certain problem, administrative, technical and other reason, okay, other demographic reason, you are not getting data. Then what you can do, if you have selected certain cluster, as all the clusters are having similar types of characteristics, more or less all the clusters are same, board and curriculum and other aspects also. So what you can do, taking few clusters, you can collect your data and you can conduct your study and you can journalize your result also. So friends, let us try to take one example, then I think the things will be more clear, that clear for your understanding what is a cluster sampling technique and what process you will adopt for selecting a sample by using the cluster sampling technique. You see, let us take one example. Suppose you want to survey the achievement of secondary school students in 10th board examination of a district of your state, okay, in which state you belong. So what you will do, you want to do a type of survey of the achievement, survey on the achievement of secondary school students in 10th board exam, okay. So what you will do, first of all, the board will be the same board, means here your concern is the second your state board, okay. Let you are from the state of Odisha, then what you will do, you have to take the students of the Odisha board. Let you are in a state of Andhra Pradesh, so you will take the state board of Andhra Pradesh or Tamil Nadu. So here board is same, and 10th board exam means those have appeared the 10th exam, and what is their achievement, what is their score. You want to have a survey, you have to compare it. So what you will do, first of all, you have to select a district, as this is mentioned in your problem. 10th board exam of a district of your state, you have to select a district, okay. So after selecting a district, what you will do, in a district you will find that different blocks are there, or different tahsils are there. So here you can say the blocks and the tahsils are the clusters, they are one group, okay. So let in a district there are 10 blocks or 10 tahsils. That district is geographically the situation of the district, and that district is divided into 10 clusters or 10 tahsils. So what you will do, as I have already said, that very minutely you have to analyze that whether all the clusters are similar in nature or not, whether the characteristics of all the clusters are similar or not. You have to take the state board students, you have to take the government school, you have to take a similar standard of the students, the curriculum is same, textbook is same, pedagogy is same, assessment practices is same, number of working days is same, timetable is also more or less same, okay, and weekly working days is also same, nature of treatment given to the activities and other types of curricular, co-curricular, means scholastic and co-scholastic activities that has been conducted in the school, that is also more or less same. So here everything is same. So when the clusters are similar, means the treatment that has been given to every tahsils of that district is similar type, then what you can do, by using a simple random sampling technique, you can select few clusters, okay. Let total clusters are 10. As a researcher, you decided that you have to select 20% of the clusters. So 20% of the clusters means here you have to select 2 clusters, okay. So after selecting the randomly selecting the 2 clusters, so here your study will focus upon the 2 clusters, okay. So no need of going to other clusters, because all the clusters are similar in nature. But in simple random sampling technique, what you have to do here, you have to make a list of all the students those have passed 10th board exam in your state in a particular year, okay. Then their number may be 1000, their number may be 10,000, their number may be 50,000, okay, their number may be 1 lakh or more than that also. Then what you will do, from there you have to draw a sample. But here what you are doing, already you have defined the clusters, and the characteristics of each clusters are similar in type, similar in nature. Okay, so far as treatments and other facilities are provided to the clusters. So you have to select here, as I have said, that 20% clusters. So out of 10, 20% clusters are two clusters. So now your study will focus upon the two clusters. So what you will do, two clusters means here two tahsils. So you will concentrate on those two clusters. You have to list down the schools. Then again, if you want to take a few percentage of schools as your sample, let you decided to take 20% of the schools. So here what you will do, in two clusters you have to list out all the schools, then again randomly or by using the simple random sampling technique you have to select 20% of the schools. Okay, then in 20% of the schools you have to list down, after getting the number of schools, 20% of the schools from the two tahsils, two clusters, you have to list down the number of students those have appeared the 10th board exam in a particular year, maybe 2019 or maybe 2020, okay, or 2018, and their score, their percentage of score, their achievement. Okay, so here after making the list of all the students 10th, those have appeared the 10th board exam, okay, then again you can also do a type of sampling, a simple random sampling. Maybe you can take 20% of the students, okay, 50% of the students. So now your study comes directly to the students. So first 10 clusters were there, then you reduced 10 cluster to 2 clusters, then then your entire force will be upon that two clusters. You select the schools, then select the students, and you conduct your study. But after conducting your study, this the survey result that you will get, the achievement result that you will get, you have to calculate their mean, their standard deviation, boys score, girls score, achievement of the students so far as their socio background is concerned. Okay, so who are coming from which socio-economic background, then again you can generalize the result upon the you can say 10 clusters, 10 tahsils, because all the tahsils are similar in nature. The characteristics of the 10 tahsils are similar. So friends, without using a simple random, directly a simple random sampling technique, you are selecting your sample by using a cluster sampling technique because of certain administrative or geographical difficulties in that district. Okay, you do not want to visit all the clusters, okay, because the clusters are similar in nature. Okay, so what you will do, select few clusters and concentrate your study upon that clusters, and the results that you will get, that results will generalize upon the 10 clusters, generalize upon that district, not only the two clusters or the two tahsils from where you have collected your data. So friends, you see, we discussed the simple random sampling technique, stratified random sampling, multi-stage, systematic, and clusters. Now we discuss the cluster sampling technique. You see, every sampling technique is having its own purpose, is having its own peculiarity, and having its you can say one strength and weaknesses. So as a researcher, after all, it is up to you. You have to understand your research problem, and you have to understand that what is the nature of the population, what is the spread of the population, what is the distribution of the population, what is the area of the population. So if you have better understood the population unit of your research, of your research problem, then better you can decide that which method will be the appropriate method for conducting your study. But let me to say that every method is having its own limitations and strength. Okay, as we are doing research in social sciences, no research in social sciences, no research in psychology and education is perfect, is free of complete error. So here definitely we are giving a space to committing certain error. But as a researcher, I have already said that research is a very scientific and systematic work. So as a researcher, it is your work to minimize the error, okay, to curb the error, or you can say to conduct a study by doing very minimum error. So when you are selecting a sample, here also there is certain you can say chances to commit certain error, to do certain error. Okay, because every method is having a type of you cannot say that a single method is totally error free method, but you select a suitable sampling technique so far as your problem and research is concerned, and you conduct your study. So friend, in our next program we will discuss about certain sampling technique that we use in educational research, which is come under the non probability sampling method. Thank you.